Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about how I ended up choosing my midwife. I just want to share my perspective, my point of view on how I ended up choosing the midwife that I have now and why I opted for a midwife instead of an OB. I did interview about 5 to 7 midwives and birthing centers. It was very important for me that my midwife had an approach to birth that was very natural. You're a woman and God created you to have kids and your body is capable of doing it, and pregnancy is not a disease. It's not something that has to be treated. It's not something that has to have all of these interventions. And all these testings and screenings. Tests can definitely be helpful, but they're not required. And so I wanted someone that had more of a English approach or European model to birth, because in Europe, the midwifery style of care for pregnancy and birth is very common and it's still widely used. In America, in the US, as much as I love this country, which I do, our medical system has failed a lot of women when it comes to birth. I have pages here of each midwife I interviewed or birthing center. The first thing that I looked for was punctuality. All of my interviews were through the phone. I wanted to make sure that they called me when it was, because that is sort of going to set the tone for all of your midwife or all of your prenatal appointments. And that's also going to set the tone for your birth. Is she going to miss your birth? And the second thing that I really wanted to listen to was her tone. Was she sweet? Was she kind of cold and distant? Was she like pouring into you and giving you all the information you would need? Was she like, I'm not going to give you anything until you hire me? Like that kind of stuff I think is very important to just pick up on. Also wanted to hear if she knew what she was talking about. Like, does she have that authority, but she's still sweet? Or does she have that authority, but she's kind of like snobby and cocky, like I know what I'm talking about? I definitely wanted my midwife to know what she was talking about and to have experience, but to also be kind and to be sweet, because pregnancy is difficult. And as a first-time mom, you can have a smooth pregnancy. Like so far I've had a smooth pregnancy, thank God, but there's so many changes that you're experiencing that you don't even know how to deal with them, right? You can call your mom, you can call your sister, but you want your midwife to be that person that you can text like, hey, I'm feeling like this, or I'm feeling like that, or what do you recommend I do for this? And you want to have a good relationship with them. You don't want it to be transactional. When it comes to actual questions, in terms of prenatal care, I asked about routine ultrasounds, 20-week anatomy scan, GBS testing, gestational diabetes testing, cervical checks. Were they required, or did I have the option to opt out? You are a human being. You want what's best for your baby. You should have the right to say, hey, I actually don't want to do that. Some midwives will say, hey, we really require it, and others will say, that's totally fine, just sign a form where you declined or where you opted out. In terms of birth, I asked how their approach to birth was. Are they hands-on? Are they hands-off? How many people are going to be in the birth? What does their birthing team consist of? Do they require a doula? Shoulder dystocia. What is your protocol for shoulder dystocia? It's fine, just switch positions and the baby will come out, right? Like if you're laying down, then get on all fours. If you're on all fours, get on your side. Like usually just change positions. Doctors, OBs will tell you, oh, if you have shoulder dystocia, C-section. This book is really good for seeing cases with shoulder dystocia. I also asked about breech birth, positions to do to have the baby head down. Basically with all of these things, you just want to hear their confidence and their approach to things. Are they just gonna like flick you, and like, no, get out, we can't treat you anymore? Or are they going to say, hey, it's fine, we're going to help you as much as we can? Other things I asked about were neonatal resuscitation, which every midwife should be trained in that. What is in their medical kit? Also, their administration of Pitocin. Do they go the herbal and natural route as much as they can? Until then they just have to use Pitocin. Is it routine? Is it not? Is it used for hemorrhages? What hospitals near me did they have a relationship with? Home births, they go great, but sometimes you have to be transferred. And we'll get to transfer rates in a minute, but sometimes you have to be transferred either because you're like, I can't do this anymore and I want an epidural, or there was an emergency. And so you want to make sure that the hospital that you go to does not push you to have a C-section if it's not necessary. Also transfer rate, right? So how many of the women that labored at home have had to transfer to the hospital, and what has been the reason? Have they been because of emergencies, or have they been because of pain? They have a 5 to 6% transfer rate when it comes to first-time moms, and it has been because of pain. So it hasn't been because of medical necessities. For the most part, birthing at home is actually safer because you are at peace, you are in your home, you are relaxed, you can control the lighting, you don't have somebody coming in all the time and try to speed up your labor, you don't have the pressure to be induced, you don't have the pressure to have to hide when you're munching on snacks and hydrating, which is ridiculous, right? Birth is so long, labor is so long, and it's requires so much of you. I think that home birthing is a lot safer, and it's the natural thing. It's what has been done for thousands of years. If you were to end up being transferred, right, how does that look like? Are they going to transfer with you? Which they do, they should. You want to know their C-section rate. So how many of these births that have had to transfer to the hospital have been C-sections? I'm not shaming anybody that has had a C-section. I think all births are beautiful and they're a miracle, and the important thing is that baby is healthy and that baby is here. But I think that if you can avoid C-sections, it would be great. There is a reality that the C-section rate has skyrocketed in the last 10 to 20 years, and many times they are not even necessary. And then I also obviously asked her about costs, if there's a travel fee, what that looks like. Can I use my insurance for lab work? What's the total cost of the home birth package? How much is the deposit? When is the last week that I have to pay? For us, the rate is $5,000, $600 travel fee because we are an hour and a half from them. My deposit was $500 on our first visit, and then I have to pay the whole balance by week 36. What was her religion? How does she incorporate that into her practice? And so my midwife is a Christian. It was very important to me that she would be. I'm a Christian and I take my faith very seriously. I incorporate it into everything that I do. And I want the person to help me deliver this baby to be somebody that we are on the same page spiritually. I loved that she told me that she prays for her clients and that she would pray with me at the birth if that's what I wanted. And so I really liked that. You can try to have the best practitioner out there, but what you need to do is take care of your body, know how pregnancy works, exercise, have good nutrition so that you're strong, and healthy to deliver the baby. If you can prepare as much as you can for pregnancy and birth, then I'm pretty sure your body and your baby will thank you. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.